Generation X. In general terms, those born between 1965 and 1980. Latchkey kids. Independent. Existentialism. Modern philosophy focusing on personal experience, human ability, and responsibility in an otherwise meaningless universe. We're the cause. This is the effect. We're the Gen-Existentialists. Welcome in, friends, to the Gen-Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
And we are here to talk about new stuff, because it's a new year coming up.
Happy New Year 2026 again.
Happy New Year. And because of that, our topic today, well, it's not really about new stuff.
Okay.
We are titling this Revenge of the Analog, or why vinyl film cameras and Dumbphones are back.
All right.
So, from your perspective, and I have some kind of weighty thoughts on this, do you feel like analog technology is back, and if so, why?
You know, this is something that I talked to my wife about because she has, coworkers who have children still, some of them, and there is a thing where they're talking about buying Polaroids and stuff now, Polaroid cameras.
Somebody at work talked about that the other day. Mm-hmm. And I literally just looked at them like, you didn't just say that. Really?
Yeah.
Really?
And it's, you go to the store, even Walmart now has a vinyl section where they're selling vinyl albums. Like, can you imagine paying $40 for Back in Black by AC/DC?
And that's where my take gets really weighty.
Yeah, I think a lot of it is that the younger generations never grew up with everything in this sort of ephemeral state where it didn't really exist. You didn't own any albums. You didn't when you buy arcade games now, like video games for your home console, if you actually buy a physical copy and don't just download it automatically, you open it up and all it is a code inside.
Yeah.
You don't even get anything. You don't get a manual. You don't get nothing. You know? Maybe you get a little chip that you stick in your machine and you can download it from there. It's pathetic.
Yeah.
And I mean, I've looked at, you've seen kids' bedrooms lately where now some parents are still the kind of parents where they're like, you can't put any holes in the wall. So you can't hang anything up, so you have to tape everything up, or you have to use blue tack or whatever, unless it's something that is like a designer item that goes in the room anyway. And the kids' rooms nowadays, because they don't play with toys, they don't collect things, really. They just, everything is on an iPad or their laptop or their Xbox or whatever. So their rooms are completely sterile. They look like showrooms. Yeah. Like when you go to a showcase house or whatever and you're looking around. Yeah. It's really sad. And I think this is sort of a rebellion of like, we want to own something. We want something of our own that we can carry around in our pocket, even if it's novelty and they don't really know how to use it or they don't use it properly. Yeah. It's this kind of novelty of, hey, I own this. I collect vinyl records now. It's cool. Look at this big picture. I can put it in a frame and stick it on my wall, too. Yeah. How neat is that, Because I don't even think kids have magazines or anything anymore, most of them. They get everything online.
I agree. I think it is very much a tactile thing, like to actually have something. And that's something I let go of that a little bit with my music collection. Like I had boxes and boxes of CDs.
Oh, he did.
When we moved from Georgetown up here, the number of boxes of CDs I had surprised me. And I'm a music whore. I absolutely am. And from that perspective, MP3s have been great because I can keep my music collection on a couple external hard drives. I still have CDs, though, for the bands that I really love. I limit my CD purchases to the bands that I really love. But here's my thing with vinyl. Vinyl records have only one single thing over any other format. And it's the fact that they're big enough that the album art looks really cool. And there used to be nothing better than a gatefold sleeve, like the Iron Maiden live album, Live After Death. The artwork on that outer cover and the inner cover when you fold it open is just epic. Most Iron Maiden albums, epic artwork that actually enhances the music. Most bands aren't like that. Most bands, like you mentioned, AC/DC Back in Black, great album. Do you need that on vinyl for the artwork? No, not at all. And through high school and college, we've talked about this multiple times, I worked in a record store, Record Alley in Erlanger, Kentucky. I saw with my own two eyes, and I participated in the death of vinyl.
Yes.
I was there when people brought their entire vinyl collections in to sell them to us, and they started getting CDs. I saw it happen. And a big part of that was we were getting into digital recording, digital mixing, digital mastering. You were able to do more with the sound. And here's the thing. If you've got an album like Back in Black, recorded analog, mixed analog, mastered to digital for the CD, are you going to have a little bit of loss? Is it going to sound the same? No. That's why you see so many remasters through the years of different albums, because the mastering technology got better. But in general, anything recorded in the digital age isn't going to sound great on vinyl. It wasn't designed for it. You can take it back. You can make it sound better for that. But why? It's an antiquated format. I don't get it. I don't understand. And me, personally, I will not participate. It's cool for everybody else. If you're out there buying vinyl, double thumbs up. Good on you. I'm not joining you because I was there when it died. I don't want to be part of the necromancy that's going on with it. It just doesn't make sense to me because it's an inferior product.
That's Scott's musical rant of the day.
Yeah, it really is. So, I apologize for that. Happy New Year, everybody. But literally, if you're buying vinyl, cool. I'm not joining you.
Okay. So what about other analog technology that's getting big now?
Well, cassette tapes are back too.
Sure, VHS is back. People are now talking about, oh, cool, I really love this big art on this VHS clam case. It's a clam case, you know, and they're like, yeah. It's funny that it's all becoming new again. And now you can take all your VCRs and your phonographs and everything that you've been keeping in the attic and sell them for, you know.
Dust it off, put it on eBay for 10 times what you paid
sell it for dollars
originally.
On the pennies, if you will. Not that pennies exist anymore either. So,
yeah, I guess I get it from the tactile perspective. Again, having a product.
It's a collectible that isn't just like a throwaway. You know, it's not a novelty thing. It's something that you actually use.
But when somebody tells me, yeah, I love the vinyl because I love the way it sounds. Okay, again, that's personal perspective.
Sure.
I get it.
It
sounds so warm.
Care.
It's because it's inferior. It's not...
Only old farts like us care about the sound, the warmth of sound that comes from a vinyl album or whatever.
I could get the same thing from a CD. I might have to mess with my EQ a little bit, but I can get the same thing.
Well, I think the kids are in it for the collectible aspect of it. It gives them something they can own. I
can't take a vinyl album in my car.
No.
And here's the thing. That's a logical explanation for vinyl. I'll give you this if you've heard this. If I buy a vinyl album, I have to put it on my turntable, drop the needle on it, and let it play. Sure, you can get up and walk over and flip past the songs you don't like. We've all done that. I had a turntable when I was a kid. I had vinyl. I don't have any anymore. You could do that, but it kind of made you engage with the music more. Instead of just being able to flip through stuff or put a streaming service on or something like that, you had to actively engage with the music. I get that. That's kind of a good thing.
I think that's why kids are very excited about Polaroid cameras now. Is because you take a photo.
Yeah.
And the photo is basically nothing but trapped light.
Yeah.
And it's that one moment and it's not something they can share with each other. It's
Well,
an
you
actual
can.
It's an artifact. You can't make copies of your Polaroid. You have that is that one little object that you own.
Yeah.
You can take multiple photos, obviously, but it's not the same as like I took a photo of something on my phone and now I just shared it with 1 million people and they all have it on their phones now and it's gone viral. This is something you can hang on your wall.
Is it okay to take a Polaroid and then take a picture of it with your phone?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
I mean, it's lossless though. You're going to lose the artifacts, blah blah blah. Now, it's interesting that kids are so fascinated with older technology again now. And I think it's nice. I mean, it's no different than when we were growing up. Everybody was, all the girls were wearing poodle skirts and stuff.
Were they?
Yeah, the Valley Girl movement and all that. They dressed very 50s, and it was just a revival. It's 30 years. It's a 30-year cycle. It's the same reason in 2010s everybody was starting to get back into the 80s and everything was 80s.
As well it should be.
Yeah. So now we're going back to the 90s.
But the thing is, it all costs so much now. Like, to get a good turntable, that's another reason I won't do it. I ain't got that kind of money. It's insane.
I can give you a deal on my turntable. Hey, kids, if you're listening out there, I've got like 6 VCRs in my attic. Just give me them. They all work.
Here's the other thing about it. Like the vinyl cassettes, Polaroids, things like that. Mm-hmm. They're not just retro. They're proof of something that happened, like you touched on.
Yeah.
But they're still ephemeral.
Sure,
because they break.
Ephemeral.
They fall apart. Polaroids fade.
Yeah.
So it's as much as it is a tactile experience now and something else you're getting into as opposed to just bits and bytes on a phone or something. It's gonna fade.
Sure.
From that perspective, I think it's kind of cool.
Yeah, because digital stuff, it never fades. I mean, you can lose it, obviously, but something that was made, a meme that was made in 1999 or whatever on a bulletin board somewhere on Netscape or whatever it was called back then. That's still the same, looks the same as it did in 1999, and it never fades and it never gets worse. There's no loss. It's not a lossy format, I guess, so it makes it sterile. And I think that kind of sterile stuff, it starts to eat at your soul after a while. I mean, if you're really into that art.
Yeah, I guess one of the things that I've got too is that the ephemera, it's a problem, but the ritual of the object, like collecting, having something, I guess that's another reason why I haven't dived into the whole thing.
I mean, look at when we were kids or teenagers, I knew a couple of girls who collected antique cameras.
Yeah.
Now, why the hell would you want an old crappy wind-up antique camera that looks like a box, that you never use? Because they liked the object. It was a piece of art for them, and they left it on their shelf with all their other cameras, the ones they used and the ones they didn't use.
Yeah.
Because it was something that reminded them of like, oh, my parents used this, or my grandparents used this, or it's just really cool artifact from the past.
Yeah.
They had no connection to it, but they kept them. So it's the same with these kids. I mean, you see something like, why would a kid want a VHS tape?
I have
VHS
no idea.
Is remarkably lousy format.
If
fast forwarding,
beta
the
came
rewinding,
back,
it's a mess of an art, and it's lossy. It degrades. It's super inconvenient. It's bulky.
Yeah,
but it's a really cool little artifact, from their parents' time or whatever. And like, look at this. My mom and dad watched Faces of Death.
Yes.
Can you believe it?
Do you think laser discs will come back?
I think they already are back.
Are they?
Yeah. I mean, I was just listening to a podcast of another gentleman who is 7 years younger than us, but he was talking about how he went and bought a bunch of laser discs from the thrift store because they had them, just because he wanted to look at the artwork again.
Yeah.
And when he got them home, they were all full of mold.
Oh.
Like the insides on it. But he kept them anyway because he loves the artwork on it. So, but it's that Like, he's waiting for that to be the next big revolution where the kids find out about laser discs and they're like, wow, it's like a giant CD.
Yeah.
You know, and they'll never find something to play it on, but it doesn't matter.
Somebody will make one.
Yeah.
Somebody will make a retro one. And, you know, I don't want to seem like I'm completely poo-pooing the idea. Obviously, I've got my issues with vinyl. But I understand the reasoning, too. I understand, you know, especially for the artwork. It's better. Like, there's nothing worse than buying a cassette of an album and, like, squinting at the artwork and then going and seeing the vinyl and being like, that's really cool. And hoping you could find a poster of it somewhere later.
I mean, honestly, in today's censorious world, where
what was that again?
Censorious world.
Yay!
Where everyone is virtue signaling one thing or another, movies and TV shows now can be re-edited. They have warning signs at the beginning of them, like for really stupid things, like Disney cartoons now come with warning labels when you start them on Disney Plus. It says this has harmful representations of people because it's from a past time, and we apologize. We don't want to hurt anybody's feelings because a dwarf is called a dwarf and carries around a pickaxe and doesn't really exist. But hey, you know, might hurt some short person's feelings. I don't know. You know, it's that kind of weird thing, and you don't get that when you have a physical object. You know, you can go back and watch an episode of Three's Company where they call Jack a fairy, and it happened. And it's in the tape, but if you watch it nowadays on a streaming service, do they even show that anymore? No, because it's offensive to someone, you know. It's this idea of having this forbidden entertainment, forbidden knowledge. It's like, wow, this is what it really was like. It's a product of its time.
And in many ways, for some of those examples you gave, we're better now.
Yeah, maybe that's a argument for another day.
We've evolved.
Yeah, well, you know, entertainment is entertainment, baby, you know.
How much we've touched on this a little bit. Ownership, we've talked more about, you know, handling the physical aspect, but ownership too of those memories for the retro stuff, because so much stuff today is a subscription service.
Oh, it's completely on a whim. They can take it away from you 1 month and bring it back 6 months later.
Games, streaming services, all that stuff. That's why I buy MP3s. I buy CDs from bands that I really love and like local bands that I like to help support them. I like having control. Sure. That was one of the reasons I kind of quit playing video games. Is it got to the point where the ones I really liked, there was no disc. Yeah. And there was no manual. And I guess I'm just old. I'm Gen X. I want the game. I want to have the game. So
let me spin you a yarn, kids. From this is from a Gen Xer here. Arcade games or computer games, shall we say. Back in the day, I bought a game called Ultima V, Knights of Destiny.
I've never heard of that.
It's a role-playing game in the Ultima series, which was like 10 or 12 long now. But it came in a box with really cool artwork. And when you opened it up, there was actually 3 little metal talismans, a key, an ankh, and something else. It came with a cloth map that you could fold out of the game itself. It came with 2 manuals and a big color manual that was all like a monster manual for the game, and then your discs. And that's what you paid $50 for. Yeah. Nowadays is where I sound like an old man. In my day, they used to give you something for a game that you paid $50 for. Now you'll pay $80 for a game, and you open it up from a little crappy plastic DVD case, and it's got a sticker on it with a serial number on it. And the problem with that also is that when you're done playing your Madden or your Metroid or whatever it is, that they just keep recycling old stuff because the new stuff sucks. So you'll have Madden 38 now or whatever, or Metroid Super Duper Prime, you know, some game from the Gen X times. You can't even resell it because you have nothing to resell. You can't trade it with a friend. You can't let your friend borrow it for the weekend.
Yeah. You didn't buy a game, you bought a license.
You bought access to a game. You bought a ticket that lets you into the club for as long as you have that ticket.
And as soon as your subscription lapses or you stop it, done.
Yeah, club's
gone.
Closed. Sorry, we're out.
Yeah, and if you try to re-up it in a month, you're done.
Yeah.
I hate that.
It's pretty despicable, really. I mean, because everybody complains about add-ons and mods and stuff that you have to pay for games. Like, I already paid for the game. I shouldn't have to pay for extra add-ons and access. EA games are notorious for this. But could you just complain about the fact that you bought a game but you didn't actually get anything? And you can't share it with your buddies, and you can't pirate it, you can't play with it, you can't, you can't share it with your friends.
And how much of it do you think was that?
The
piracy.
I think
as
that's
a way to get around the subscriptions as opposed to physical product to curtail piracy.
I hate to burst everybody's bubble, but there are still numerous places that pirate games that are only subscription-only games, and you can play them. I mean, I think there will always be thieves. There will always be pirates. There'll always be ways to steal your product, and that's not really the real reason that people did it this way is for greed. It makes more money for them.
Yeah.
I don't have to print manuals. I don't have to hire people to write those manuals. I don't have to hire artists to draw all this cool art. I can get all these poor people in a sweatshop in Korea to do all the programming for me of this game. And then we can refine it here, and then we can sell it for a ludicrous amount of money. And really all it is, once again, like you said, is access.
Yeah.
People will pay us almost $100 or more for access to play a game. It's terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, you're really not getting any satisfaction for your money, really.
Let me take a right turn here. Mm-hmm. So we've talked about like gaming, music, things like that. From a creator standpoint, from your standpoint, say as a video editor, and from my standpoint as a musician, do you see this same change happening at all?
Well, my software programs that I use for video editing, I mean,
really?
Honestly, the programs were prohibitively expensive. My Adobe Creative Suite, which is what I use back in the day when I could buy a physical copy, so I could put it on as many computers as I wanted or whatever, was around $1,500, and this was about 10 or 12 years ago.
Yeah.
Now you're still paying that, essentially, because you're buying a subscription to the service.
Yeah.
Well, we update it all the time. Well, whoop-de-friggin' shit, like I need 1 million updates to something. I'm a workman. I'm a yeoman.
Yeah.
I'm doing work every day and editing. I'm not looking for the latest go faster laser beams and fancy wipes that look like butterflies and goofy shit like that, because I'm not some kid playing with this program.
Yeah.
But I'm also paying like $40 or $50 a month for it. So I'm paying just as much or more forever to have access to that program. It's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's a total cash cow, and they've got you over a barrel. I mean,
because there's what else are you gonna do?
Once things become industry standard, you're locked in.
Yeah.
I mean, nobody wants me to use DaVinci, whatever, the stuff I can get for free, or the the freeware version online that is trying to compete with Adobe, because it doesn't have the same thing.
Yeah.
So I have to use the industry standard. And
I guess, like for me here in my small home studio where we're recording this, I don't use a high tech super pro DAW. It's one that's actually fairly simple that I know how to run and I've gotten pretty good at. I do actually have a physical copy of it.
Good for you.
But that's because I'm running an old version of it. There are actually, I think, 2 versions newer that I could download and update it.
I was running like a 5 or 8 year old version of Adobe Photoshop for the longest time.
Yeah.
but they finally got to the point where they made it impossible to run. You couldn't install it anymore. It didn't work anymore. So now you're stuck with a subscription.
Yeah, I think by the time the next version of this comes out, I will have to upgrade it.
Yeah.
But I guess even going deeper than that, is there anybody out there that's still cutting tape, that's still shooting analog video, that's using film?
There are hipsters out there that are doing this because they think it's the same reason that kids are buying Polaroids now.
Because there are a number of studios where if we wanted to book the time, we could go in and record our album on 2-inch tape.
Yeah.
We could. We don't want to.
No.
But we could.
Yeah, it's a lot of it is, it's the warmth that you get from shooting on actual film as opposed to shooting on an iPhone or whatever.
Yeah.
Let me tell you something. Let me be dead ass, as the kids say with you. Maybe artists care about that crap. Maybe the Academy Awards, group cares about that crap. But the consumer doesn't care. They don't care if it's warm. They don't care if it's whatever. They just want to be able to see it in the right aspect ratio. They want the audio to match up with the voices.
Entertain me, bitches.
Exactly. It's a product. You're creating a commodity. You're not creating art.
Now wait a minute. What if you are?
Maybe you are. But
is
it's a commodity.
Analog any more artful than digital? I think it's all in the hands of the artist.
It is. But I mean, why create more work for yourself? We are in a digital world now. And people will go on and on about I shot this on film and I had to fly the film in from Italy because they're the only ones that make the Pentaflex 16 millimeter film reels.
Splicing tape is fun, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to live like Grandpa did or me or your dad or whatever, then by all means, if that's your pet project, if you've got the cash to burn, then do it. But if you're making a product out there for someone,
efficiency means profit.
Exactly. I mean, come on now. Don't be an ass.
Yeah. And here's the other thing. The older analog formats, most of the stuff that your product, film, music, what have you, is going to be played on is digital.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you'll have to change the aspect ratio and you'll have to pay for upgrades. And,
your equalization will be
rendering
off.
It. Yeah.
You're going to have to master it 15 different times for 15 different things, potentially for what you're doing. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah. And especially if you're coming from an analog format, every time you use it, film or tape, every time you run it across the head, it loses a little bit.
Sure.
You may not hear it at first, but every time you use it, it loses a little bit of its acuity.
Well, there's a time and a place for using older technology. One of the guys that I'm friends with, his whole shtick is that he was one of the original vloggers. He calls himself the original vlogger. And it's because his family had a VHS camcorder way back in the 80s, and he used it for everything. He made music videos. He documented his day. He documented what he ate. He was doing stuff like that just because he loved to play with the camera.
Was he one of the guys that just drove around and filmed the roads and stuff that we used to watch
Similar,
on
but
public
he was a
access?
child at the time. Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
right.
so
I miss those.
So he has all this documented footage of him and his siblings when they were children, basically all the way up till now. And now he has a very successful YouTube channel doing basically the same thing. But his shtick is he records everything on a VHS camcorder still, and then transfers it to video so he can put it up on YouTube. So it's still 4:3 aspect. It's still grainy. It sounds bad, the whole bit. But that's his shtick. And that works because that's his entire brand and art form is that. But there's no reason there's no reason to shoot your next sci-fi epic on VHS.
Please don't.
Or shoot your next dramatic romance film on 16 millimeter film. There's no reason to do any of that.
Yeah.
If you're doing it for you, by all means have at it. Waste your money. Waste everyone's time with remastering and all that and do it. I don't know. But that's the exception, I would say, for someone who they have an entire shtick built around VHS. So that's why they're still using old cameras.
Yeah, I think at least where I'm coming down on this, is we've gotten to a very, very good point with technology. And I get the romanticism of looking backwards and maybe using the old stuff. But at least for me, as a member of Generation X, been there, done that.
Sure.
I like where we're at. I don't have any need to go back and live in the past again.
I would never go back to editing U-matic tape.
Yeah.
Or anything like you talk about 2-inch tape. They have 2-inch videotape as well. And I would never go back to spooling those up, cutting them in just the right spot, taping them back together, blah, blah, blah. There's no reason to go backwards like that.
It would be like me saying, I'm going to get rid of my continuous glucose monitor, and I'm going to go back and, puncture a hole in my finger, bleed on a stick.
Old school.
Wait for a minute, wipe the blood off, wait for another minute, have to have a watch with a second hand, and then compare the color to the side of the bottle to see what my blood sugar is.
You could do that for science fair.
I could do that for a science fair, but no.
The analog version of Humalog.
I did that for years. Yeah. I'm in a much better place now. I'm happy with technology. I am Gen X. We
adapt.
We saw the tech come, and we have embraced it, and we love it. Yeah. That's my take. And with that, we will leave you. This has been the Gen-Existentialist podcast. My name is Scott.
And I'm Bunny.
We'll catch you next time. Have a good one.